Hi, it's Sunday the 8th, and we're starting a new week for Camp SeasonAthon. This morning, my husband and I were on the worship team for church, so the morning was shot for reading because we were there for like 3 hours. But it was a lot of fun. I always enjoy being able to get up and sing and clap and dance around, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Anyway, I did finish Wrath yesterday, so that's great. That's another book down for both TBR Trials and Camp SeasonAthon. And I'm still working on Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, which I had to replace The Burning Witch for on my TBRopoly. And what else? I am still reading Tom's Midnight Garden. Haven't really made any other progress on this one. And I'm going to keep for being able to listen to when I'm running errands and in the car. And today I will most likely... We'll see, because we're going over to my in-laws' house for dinner, so we'll see, because the day's half over already. So we'll see if I have time. But I will try and start The Cabin at the End of the World today for my lowest rated book, The Outhouse. And I will either start that tonight or I will start it tomorrow morning. Now, I do have my mom and my aunt are coming over tomorrow for errands and grocery shopping and things like that. So I won't be able to listen to a whole lot of it. I'll mainly just have the evening. So my morning and afternoon will be taken up by family, which is great. Always love that. And I think that's really all the progress that I have. I think I already said I did finish Saga. That was really good. I am sad that there's not very many issues left in that or volumes left in that series for me to read, but I'm loving it. I'm pretty sure that was it. And I don't think I mentioned before, but I believe I finished 4 books last week, and I attended sprints, so that makes 5 points. And I actually intended 2 sprints, but I'm only going to count one of them, just to be fair. So that gave 5 points to the Turquoise cabin. And I've already finished 1 more book, and I'm starting on another. So hopefully I will get another 4 or 5 points this week for the Turquoise cabin. And I believe the Savior's Champion comes in soon. So once I start that, you get 3 points for that one. So don't forget, quick and easy points. The next sprints are on my channel on June 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Pacific. And then on the 22nd is Kimberly's sprints at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, or 5 a.m. Pacific, if you want to get up early. And I think those are the last ones. Melanie may throw in an extra one here sometime between now and the live show, but we'll see, because she's got the live show and the author chat on her channel on the 28th, so make sure you attend those too. I will see you again tomorrow with some more updates. Today is Monday, June 9th. I did get some reading done yesterday. What did I finish? I finished something. And I just took all my books back to the library today. What did I finish yesterday? I don't remember. Let me look. Oh, Wrath. I finished Wrath yesterday. So I got that done, and I am still reading Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. It's like a soap opera. It's kind of addictive, but not necessarily great. Like it's good and I'm enjoying it, but not for any real particular reason. I don't know. There's a couple of trigger spots in here for me, so hopefully they continue to move by quickly and we don't dwell on those things. So yeah, but I am liking it. And then I started The Cabin at the End of the World yesterday. Got almost 100 pages in by Paul Tremblay, and it's okay. This one definitely has some triggers for me in it as well, which I didn't realize that they were triggers, I guess. But yeah, a little bit. I feel like it's trying too hard. Maybe it's very repetitive, and I feel like each chapter there's some good stuff, and then there's stuff that's just like, okay, we're going over this again. So I don't know. It fits with the story itself, but I'm just kind of, So yeah, I have the audiobook as well. And so right now I am almost done. It has 272 pages. I'm on page 218, so I'm almost done. So I'll finish this today, and it'll probably get a 3-star. Yeah. If I'm completely honest, depending on how it ends, if I'm completely honest, it'll probably be a 2.75. I'll round it up to 3. It's not my kind of horror story, I guess. Yeah. So that's what I'm getting up to today. And then I have a huge mess over here on my workspace. I'm starting to set up my new journal for the last half of the year. And so I have to start up the front pages and then do my July pages. So I have that started. And then I am also still working on my Magical Readathon journal. I'm so excited. So I've gotten the initial stuff set up. So I've got the characters on there. I have their novice path and their guild choices, their conduits. So now I just got to get to the first semester for everybody. 2 old characters that started at the actual time, and then 2 new characters that I'm creating, but using some past books to kind of catch them up a little bit. So that's what I'm getting up to today. And yeah, we'll see if I come back to update you. Here you go. Hopefully you can see me a little better now. I'll try and come back to update you with my thoughts about the cabin at the end of the world. But I may just push right on through and start another book. We'll see. We'll see if I can come back or not. Today was mainly spent with a family. So on Mondays, my mom and I go grocery shopping and run errands and things like that together. And then we just kind of watch something fun on TV while we eat lunch. And then she goes back to her house and I get on with the day. And usually I have handbell rehearsals, but it's summertime, so I don't have them right now. But my aunt came with too, so we had a lot of fun. We started watching some quilting videos because they are totally into quilting. If you haven't seen some of the quilts that I've showed on my channel, yeah, they're really fun. I do have one right here, actually. So we have this tree quilt here that they made for me. And I actually got to help on that one. That one was fun. And then I have a really cool t-shirt quilt from my past work experiences. So the different shirts that I've gotten from different places or uniforms that I've had through some of the different work places I've done, like movie theater and camps and retail and tech and things like that. So we made a t-shirt quilt for that, and that was a lot of fun. Well, they made it. I had nothing to do with it except for giving them t-shirts. But it was a lot of fun. So yeah, okay, so the cabin at the end of the world, we start out with Gwen, who is a young girl, about 7 or 8 years old, I believe. I think she's, yeah, right around there. And she's on vacation with her 2 dads. So she has Daddy Eric and Daddy Andrew, which I think is adorable. I love that. And then she meets, what is his name? I don't remember his name right now. Logan? Jordan? Something like that. Anyway, yeah. So she meets him, and he kind of tries to talk to her a little bit before she goes to tell her dads that there's a stranger here. And then there's this apocalyptic type of story that comes from this. So choose something from this and all will be right in the world, but you will lose something you love. Or don't choose and watch everything fall to pieces before you go yourself. Yeah, it's good. I can see why people would like it, but I'm like, Now this is my lowest rated book from Goodreads for the Outhouse, so I can see why I may not particularly love it. So yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to go through this bag of clothes that my aunt brought me of things she doesn't want anymore and things I might like. And there's some fun stuff in here. This one's really nice. Oh, yeah, I'm excited about this one, but there's a whole bag of fun clothes in there. I just saw one in there I definitely won't keep. Not as big on patterns as she is, but yeah, I'm going to go do that while I finish listening to The Cabin at the End of the World, and then I'm going to work on another project. I've got a secret video coming up towards the end of the month, and I need to learn how to use it before I can show you all, and it's really cool, and I'm very excited. So I will see you guys all again either later tonight or tomorrow. Bye. I forgot that I have a library haul for you. I had a few more books that came in the library, and so I thought I'd show you. But I did just finish The Cabin at the End of the Woods, and it's not for me. It was okay. I did like the end was interesting. I did like the way it ended, but yeah, not for me. It'll scrape a 3-star. 2 1/4 to 3, so I'll round it up and say it's a 3. So that was that one. I read it. I did get Frostbite, Vampire Academy. So this is the second book in the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. And this one I'll probably read last because, yeah, not on my TBR, it's just for the read along. So that one. And then I did get the Dose Effect in. I also have the audiobook on hold, and I'm hoping that I get it soon. We'll see. If not, I mean, it's not super long, so I can read it with my eyeballs if I need to, but I would rather do them both together. And then I also got, I am so excited for this book. This is not for any readathons. It's not in my TBR at all. I've heard tons of people talking about it, how much they love it. My library happened to have it, so I put a hold on it, and it came in very early. That is That Eater and Other Names for Chloe Zhang, and this is by Kylie Lee Baker. And I am very excited to get into this one. And I believe, so let me tell you what I did with my TBR. So with Icebreaker, that's not on my TBR. It's only for Camp SeasonAthon for a book with a sport in it. But I have Vampire Academy for Dance Studio for the mood read, so I'm going to use Binding 13, which has rugby in it, for the game with the sport. So I'm taking Icebreaker off my TBR, so that'll save me 100 pages or so. I mean, this Binding 13 is still longer than Icebreaker was by a couple hundred pages, but it'll save me from having to read both of them. And by taking Icebreaker off, that also affects my TBR Knockout TBR, which was for a book with the LGBTQIA+, and I believe this one has it. So I'm going to use this for that. So that gives me a reason to read it. Yeah, not that I need an excuse to read it, because I'm going to read it anyway because it looks really good. And I do have to read this one with my eyeballs, so I will need to get started, especially if the audiobook doesn't come in for this one. I will need to do that. At least for like Binding 13, anything I have on my Kindle, I can have Alexa read to me. Oh, that was the other thing. I did not care for the narrator for this one. I think it's the first time I've listened to her as a narrator. And Amy Landon, I think that was the name, but she sounded like it didn't matter what speed I had it on, if I had it on regular speed or if I had it on like 2-point speed or 3-time speed, anywhere in between. I tried them all. She sounded like Alexa reading to me. And while that's fine for Alexa, but I don't know, it was weird. And she hung on words longer than like, by Paul Tremblay, and I'm just like, this is just, it's too weird. Do you end most of your words with a little emphasis and longer intonation, and then just, I don't know, whatever it was, it did not help the reading experience, we'll just say that. And reading this without the audiobook, I think I would have had the exact same impression of how my enjoyment of the book would have been the same. But yeah, definitely didn't care for the narrator for this particular one. Like if I found another book that she narrated, I would absolutely give it a try. But yeah, no. Okay. Those are the changes that I'm making to my TBR. Oh, and the other one is NetGalley no longer has access to Wisdom Takes Work by Ryan Holiday, which is what I used for my triple up prompt. So I need to find a different ebook that's a business book that's on NetGalley in order to take care of that. I did find 2 or 3 that I'm interested in, and I will kind of save that towards the end. I did put in a request for Wisdom Takes Work by the publishers. Kind of have it on my please. So I want to give them another week or so to see if I can hear back from them. I doubt I will. I'm still somewhat newbie on NetGalley, so I don't see why they would give it to me. But I do have that request in, so I'm going to give it a little bit. I will wait till the last week of June to read that book. Yeah, I'm so sad. I was so excited. I knew I should have checked it out at the end of May when I first saw it. I knew I should have grabbed it, but live and learn. I will do that next time. I will grab it as soon as I can. Yeah, So that's the end of my updates. And we're dog sitting for someone for a few days, and it's fun. You know, love the dog. They have a dog and a cat. Very cute. They're super fun pets. But it also, we have to feed them around the same time I usually feed my dog and start dinner, prepping for dinner and all of that. And so it always pushes everything back a little bit, and then we have to go back over there at night to let them out before they go to bed and give them a snack and that kind of thing, which is around the same time I'm usually trying to get ready for bed. So it just makes it a later night. But I'm not mad about it because they're super fun. And they also help to take care of our little Walter whenever we're gone. So it is definitely a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Yeah, I'm super excited to start this one. Although it's actually blurbed by Paul Tremblay. A compelling, gory, ghostly romp. That sounds interesting. But the blurb on this one, Tremblay's personal best. It's that good. Stephen King. So anyone else, if there's anyone out there who's read a lot of Paul Tremblay, is this his best? Because if so, I probably will not read anything from him. But if you think it's probably not his best, then I may give him another try. We'll see. I mean, the low rating isn't too bad. It was like 3.22. That's not awful. It's not great, but it's not awful. I've read books with lower ratings than that before, but yeah. Yeah. Very excited about this one. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. So it is Tuesday night. Let me turn some lights on so you can actually see if that helps. A little better. So it's Tuesday night and June, I don't know, 10th. So I've been working on binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, and I am 65% of the way, page 396 out of 600 and something. And it's like a soap opera. It's addicting. I mean, half the time I'm just like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with these people? Like, I'm sorry, but I went to 2 different high schools growing up, and neither of them were like the kids in this book. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was a band geek and choir nerd and all of that kind of thing, so maybe I just wasn't around that much. I don't know, but yeah, I am glad I did not grow up in that environment. But yeah, it's addicting. It's not the most amazing book, and there's a lot of things in there. I do find my anxiety going up in some spots in that book just from some triggers, but I know they're there, so I prepare for it. But otherwise, yeah, it's fun. It's, total soap opera. It's addicting. Okay, and then Court of and Fury, I'm almost done. I've been listening to the audiobook as I have been reading. Oh, let me see. I am on chapter 55, page 528. So I just have that little bit left to go. So I should finish that tomorrow. I've been playing around with some new toys that I got, and some new journal supplies that I got. I'm very excited for that. I have my new bullet journal Plan With Me coming up in the next couple of days. So I got that done, and I've got my July one that I still need to do, but making some progress. And so yeah, for Camp SeasonAthon, I believe I'm using this one for Found Family, so the main dining hall. Main office. I believe I'm using it for that one. And then I switched for Binding 13. I'm using that for a sport. So archery was Wrath. So this one is for the basketball court, I think. Somewhere in there. Yeah. It's been a long day. I'm tired. I've also made progress on, this is all over the place, I'm sorry. I made progress on my diamond painting as well, so let me take you over there real quick and show you that. It might be too dark. I may have to wait until tomorrow to show you that. Let's see. So I'm trying to carry my Kindle under my arm and hold my phone at the same time. It doesn't work very well. Okay. See if I can hold this up so you can actually see it. turn off the light. There we go. So I've got about 3/4 of it done now. And I just have the last little bit to go. So kind of fun. So I've got 5 of the 6 done that I got. It was a 6-pack of dragons. And I got them because they match the quilt that my mom and my aunt made me. And we have that hanging in the stairwell. And I'm going to hang them on, so let's see. I'm going to hang them on this wall here because I have the dragon quilt here. And each of the little squares, the dragons from the diamond painting will kind of match this. So it's gonna be a lot of fun when I get that done. But yeah, that's enough for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna get back to reading. Okay, it's a Thursday, June 12th, and it has been a week. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks with no hot water, so that's fun. Cold showers are fine. It's I miss my dishwasher. I'm tired of doing dishes by hand. Hate washing dishes. But it's good for you, right? Yeah, it's good for me. Character building. Let's keep telling myself that. Yes, so yeah. And then yesterday I had a ton of tech issues, but I needed to upload my video for this morning. And so it took 3 hours to finally figure it out and come up with a solution. And then I still had to finish editing and upload my video. Got it done, stayed up till almost midnight, but that's okay. And then had to get up early because we had someone come and help move our gas line for our laundry room so that we can get our water heater hooked up. So I am very tired, but that's okay. I have been reading, so that's good. Okay, I finished, okay, where was I? We just had a FedEx delivery, so okay. What I was reading. Was it yesterday? Days are blending together. Okay, Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe it was yesterday, I finished A Court of Mist and Fury, and I like this much better than the first book. The first book, I think I gave it a 4, but on looking back, I think it would be more of a 3.5 for me. This is definitely a solid 4. Liked it much better. It gives me hope for the next couple of books in the series. So liked this one, finished it, which is good because it's another chunker off my list. And then I was continuing with Binding 13, but I'm reading that one with my eyeballs. And I had to finish food prep for my dog. So yeah, that was yesterday, Wednesday. So I finished this one while I was doing food prep for my dog, but then afterwards I had some other things around the house that I needed to do and wanted an audiobook. So I finished Tom's Midnight Garden by Philippa Pierce. And oh, this is so cute. It is so sweet. It's just a breath of fresh air. I'm not even sure when this was written. Let's see, I'm pretty sure it's older book. Yeah, 1958. So I can definitely see that in the writing style. Sorry, itchy nose. Oh my goodness. Okay. But this was so sweet. I loved it. So this is about Tom, who is a young boy, 10-ish, 10, 11, I think, right around there. And his brother was somewhere where someone had the measles. And so I don't know if it's his brother had the measles or if it was just under a scare. I think his brother had the measles. So he got sent to his aunt and uncle's house. So he's spending the summer with his aunt and uncle while his brother is recovering from having the measles. And he's not sure what he's going to do there. It seems pretty boring. I mean, there's not even a garden. It's all just pavement everywhere around. And what's the boy to do? And also in the house, there is this grandfather clock. And it is locked. He is not allowed to touch it. Only the owner of the clock is allowed to open the clock with the key and wind the clock each day. And she happens to live in, so it's an old house that was converted into kind of apartment type dwellings. And there's, I believe, 3 different families that live there, and 3, maybe 4. And she lives upstairs. But the clock is secured to the wall, so they can't move it up there for her. So she gets to come down every day, wind the clock, and then go back up. And this clock is weird. It may be 4 o'clock, but it chimes 10. It may be 1 o'clock, but it chimes 4. It may be 10 o'clock, but it's chiming 1. So it's odd, and you can hear it everywhere in the house. And of course, being a young boy, he counts it. Every time he hears it, he counts the chimes. And one day he's like, wait, 13. There's no 13 o'clock. What is going on? So he goes to investigate, and he finds his midnight garden. And from there, he explores and meets some people, and it's just so cute. I totally guessed the ending and like what was going to happen and everything, but it didn't matter because it was more anticipation waiting for it to happen than disappointment at being able to guess the ending. But yeah, it was so cute. So middle grade, and now so tired. Okay, I will get more sleep tonight and hopefully be coherent in my thoughts. Liked it. Very cute. I would say 4.5 to 5 stars just because it was so enjoyable. Reminiscent of my enjoyment for things like Anne of Green Gables and the Chronicles of Narnia, that kind of thing. Maybe not the best written things always out there, but just they give you all of the heart feels and just leave you with warm, fuzzy feelings afterwards. And then I continued with Finding 13. And since I finished that, I still needed another audiobook. That one was really short and I had already started it. And so I started Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I read 1 chapter of it yesterday and that was it. And I was like, this is going to be an interesting book. Okay, more on that in a minute. I kept reading Finding 13 by Chloe Walsh. Now, let me just tell you, if you have triggers for domestic abuse, for bullying, for having to keep secrets and not being able to confide in people, if you have triggers for anxiety or hearing about others in these situations, do not read this book. It is very good. There was a point about 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, oh my gosh, are we done yet? Like, I'm ready to be done with this book. Like, I love the book. I thought it was really good and had a lot of good hard-hitting things in there. But there's also times I'm just like, oh, I'm tired of these people. Can we just be done and move on? Yeah, part of it could be just my experience in school and things like that were nothing like these. Like, we had the kids who did drugs and things like that, but it wasn't prevalent like things in this book with like the drinking and the drugs and the profanity and just the bullying and some of the situations that are in here. It blows my mind. I feel for kids going to school in these situations. It just, yeah. But I do have triggers for some of the things in this book, and I didn't realize necessarily that I do until I was reading this one. But I was able to recognize them and work through them and process while I was reading the book, and so that was good. Except for the ending. So it's not that the ending ends on a cliffhanger, but I don't feel like anything was resolved. And so you need to read the second book to find out kind of what's going to happen to them. And this is one of the things that's triggering my anxiety because like this situation happened and I need to know to feel calm about the situation. I need to know what happens, but I can't get into the next book now because I have a ton of other books that I still need to read for this month. So that's a little anxiety inducing for me. Because I need to know that things are going to be okay or that things are changing or that things are moving. And I don't because it just ended and I'm not okay with that. So that definitely drops my score just a little bit for star ratings. I know that's totally a me thing, not other people thing. Other people may not be quite as invested. Like I was super invested in the characters. At least a few, yeah. I was invested. I was going to say just a few characters, but no, I was invested because like some of these characters just made me angry and I wanted to smack them upside the head. And other ones you just want to sit down and give a hug to and just be there with them and for them. And yeah. So I would recommend this to certain people, but not to just anyone. So not a blanket recommendation. But if you are able to deal with some of the triggers that are in this book, then I would recommend it. And I have to read the second book because I need to get this out of my mind and resolved. So I'm definitely going to continue with the series. And I did check, and it is on Hoopla, so I will be able to borrow that. So moving on to another story. I do love that this book brought out feelings, because that to me is a mark of decent writing, like good writing and good characterization, even though I'm ready to move on. Okay, so then we go back to Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This is from the 1930s. I believe I looked that up already. 1932 was the first copyright for this one. So that's before 1984, but I wouldn't compare them like apples to apples, but I feel like they have some similar themes that run through them, like the common thinking and getting rid of individualism and groupthink. That's the phrase I was looking for, kind of like the groupthink feeling, and no individualism, getting rid of religion, and kind of that. I'm trying to think of what that movie is. There's a movie where they do that, like this subconscious talking. So like you put on a CD and in the background, there's an episode, I think, of Friends that kind of has that, where Chandler sleeps to trying to get rid of stop smoking or something like that. And the whole thing is about like being this confident woman. So this has the subliminal messages in there. I think that's the phrase I'm looking for, where there's like an ad for something, and in the background it has a phrase that they want you to think of and know. And yeah, so I'm almost halfway through. I'm on page 126 of 268. So it's a fairly short book, and it's a quick and easy read. And the audiobook is amazing. It's got all like the music and the noises, like they talk about a helicopter ride, and so you can kind of hear a helicopter in the background, and you can hear like flies buzzing around and other scenes. And Steve Parker is the audiobook narrator, and he has a YouTube channel, and he has a whole bunch of books, like the public domain books, on his channel, and I would highly recommend it. And there's some singing in here too. There's some songs throughout here and there. I think there's been 2 or 3 maybe, and they're really short, but he has a nice singing voice as well. So that was good. But he does a great job. It's kind of more of a dramatized narration, but it's just him. Very interesting. This one is triggering in some ways as well. Not necessarily bad, but yeah, there's some stuff in here I just feel strongly against and about. And yeah, it's interesting. It definitely makes you stop and think and kind of decide where you would land on some of the things in this book. It does say a fantasy of the future that sheds a blazing critical light on the present, considered to be Aldous Huxley's most enduring masterpiece. But yeah, pretty much the world's gotten rid of everything except for this group think, and sections of people are grouped into different classes, and each of them have different things that they do for society as a whole. There's the first couple chapters are all about like cloning people and trying to create the perfect person for each of the different, I'll say, caste system, because that's kind of what it is. And yeah, it's very interesting, thought-provoking. This is a good group discussion type of book. Okay, I finished 3 books yesterday, and I started 2 more yesterday. So that was the Brave New World, and then today I finished Binding 13. So I finished 2 books yesterday, finished 1 book today, started 2 more. I did get them all submitted for Camp SeasonAthon, so woohoo, got another 3 or 4 points for Cabin Turquoise. Woo! Today, after finishing Budding 13, which I had like 8 pages left, but I had to go to bed last night, so I couldn't finish it. But and There's Something About Mira by Sonali Dev, and so far, interesting. Starts off, we have a couple that just got engaged. They're trying to do like a yay, we're engaged kind of trip to New York because she's never been, and her fiance has been, and is like, oh, we have to change that. We got to get you there. And it sounds like her brother may live in New York as well. And this is like the second or third time she is now changing flights and hotels because her fiance is an orthopedic surgeon and his schedule is crazy and he just can't seem to get away. She is a pain management doctor. Not sure if it's doctor, what her actual title is, but she helps with pain management, and she helps a lot of the patients that her fiance has done surgeries on to help with their pain. And that's about kind of where I am in the book. So I've only made it through one chapter, so I'm starting the second chapter today. And their dynamic is a little interesting. Neither of them really like drama, but I feel like there's some foreshadowing happening just in the first chapter or so of things that are to come. We'll see. We'll see. What do I still need to read? I still need to read a lot. So let's see. My brain is too tired to be dealing with all the stuff that I still need to do. I've got a special project that I need to film. I need to film my July BookandBuJo or bullet journal setup and my reading journal. I need to film my TBRopoly soon, probably next week. And I need to get all of that stuff edited too. And yeah, so let's see what I still need to read in Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I do have on here, but I also got that one from my library, so I do need to read this one still. I also need to read Insanity by Cameron Jace. It's the first book in the Insanity series. That one's a reread. That one will be easy, and I love that book. It's trippy and crazy, and love it. I also still need to read The Dose Effect by TJ Power for the BookandBuJo Buddies book club. I also have that for a couple of readathon prompts. And then Frostbite, the second book in the Vampire Academy series, and this one's for Sandra's Vampire Academy read-along. And I need to start Legendary, the second book in the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. That one's another big chunker. And I need to read The Savior's Champion by Jenna Marisi before the author live show at the end of the month. And I feel like there's a couple more that I still need to get to. Oh, I need to figure out my NetGalley book for the business book that's also an ebook for my TBRopoly, since I couldn't get Wisdom Takes Work, which I'm still sad about. So sad about. And speaking of sad, so I just got a notice from my library that it's time to renew my membership at my library. And that's where I get all of my Hoopla books. Unfortunately, since I originally signed up online because it was during 2020 and we weren't allowed to go in, they had everybody be able to sign up online and get their membership. And then I was able to renew for 3 years when that one came up because of some glitch in the system or something. And so that's this month. And so I sent in my renewal, and they're like, oh, since you signed up online, you need to come in and do your photo ID and your proof of living in the area. Well, I don't live there anymore. This was down the valley, so I don't live there anymore. So they're giving me 3 months to get down there and do all of that. And so I'm going to lose my Hoopla portion of the library. So I'm so sad. I mean, I still have Libby and my library up here in Prescott, but it's very limited compared to what is available down the valley. So I'm very sad. If you know of any libraries that you can sign up online and you don't have to give proof of residence and they have Hoopla, let me know, because I would love to jump on that. Yeah, I'm sad to lose a whole bunch of audiobooks, plus a lot of the comics that I read, a lot of the like saga and Something is Killing the Children, I read through Hoopla because if my library doesn't have them. So yeah, that makes me sad, but that's okay. I will deal with it and figure it out. And until then, I am binging Hoopla and making sure I use every borrow I have until it goes away. So I'll lose it partway through August, so I will not have it for the Magical Readathon in September, which makes me sad, but figure it out. Oh, this one I used for the garden for flowers on the cover, and this one I used for Found Family with the main office. For Binding 13, I used that for the basketball court for a book with a sport, because there's most definitely rugby happening in this book, and you even have to learn a little bit about it. That was around the time I think I was like, okay, I'm ready to be done. But I also feel 600 pages for the book was a tad long for me. I started losing, not that I was getting bored, but it was just, I think it was just too much with the triggers and stuff that were in there that I needed it to be shorter, but it's okay. Brave New World is going to be for the Pottery Studio because of Hands on the Cover, and I was very excited that my library actually had this version of it too. Wasn't expecting that. I think that's all the updates I have for you, and I'm going to go and take a nap. I will see you guys tomorrow. Today is Friday, June 13th. I do love myself a good Friday the 13th, and I was able to catch him in the chair. Usually I turn this on and he goes running. So it's kind of fun. I had to show my little puppy. Today I joined in on Melanie's sprints and got a lot of reading done, which was great. So I did finish Legendary. This is the second book in the Carval series by Stephanie Gerber, and that one was a lot of fun. I did really enjoy that. And then I ended up checking out a book from the library that I've been waiting on, and that is A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers, the second book in the Monk and Robot series. And then I got an email that said The Dose Effect was available for the audiobook. So I need to finish Prayer for the Crown Shy quick so I can get to this one before I have to return it. And that's The Dose Effect by TJ Powers, and this one, or Power. And this is for the BookandBuJo Buddies book club, and I'm kind of interested. I want to see what's going to happen with this one and where it's going to go. Optimize your brain and body by boosting your dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Sounds interesting. I'm intrigued. And then I'm also reading There's Something About Mira. I'm about 35-ish% of the way through, and it's cute. I'm liking it so far. And that's by Sonali Dev. And we are following, what is her name? And here I'm thinking, what is the main character's name? Well, the book is Something About Mira. Her name is Mira. I'm still tired. Can you tell? Okay, so we're following Mira, and she is engaged to be married, and the parents of both of them have decided that they want to send both of them to New York for a engagement moon. So kind of like a honeymoon, but for their engagement, to celebrate their engagement, which, is that a thing? I don't know. But anyway, he is an orthopedic surgeon, and the doctor who was supposed to be on call while he was gone breaks his arm, and so he can't go. So she goes by herself because her brother also lives there, so she wants to see him. And while she's walking around doing some sightseeing, although that is a really cute scene, because she's going to the Empire State Building and she wants to go up to the top, and so she's picturing all the movies. So Sleepless in Seattle, Affair to Remember, and it's just a super cute scene. But anyway, she finds this ring that's on a chain, and for some reason, that's it. Like everything, the itinerary is gone. She has to find the owner of this ring and return it. So she changes all of her plans, and that's what she's doing. So she's going around jewelry stores and trying to figure out who the owner of this ring is. So for some reason, she feels like she is fated to find this and return it to the owner, which is really fun. So she had put out a video saying, hey, anybody recognize this ring? Is it yours? Whatever. And one of her brother's fiance has a friend that sees the video and contacts the fiance to then get in touch with Mira. And he is a reporter for the New York Times, and he wants to do a story on her finding trying to find the person who owns the ring. And that's where the story is so far, and I'm enjoying it. It's very cute, and there's some underlying depth in here of other things going on that I'm interested to see how it plays out. I don't know if it'll be a huge part of the story, but I'm kind of thinking it might, so it'll be fun. But I am going to get some editing done and hopefully do a little bit more reading. I'm hoping to finish A Prayer for the Crown Shy today so that I can start this one tomorrow. It's fairly short, but it's a nonfiction, so it usually takes me a little longer to get through these just because I want to, you know, sit and digest the information a little bit. And yeah, making progress. I'm getting there. I still have quite a few books to go, but I'm getting there. Okay, I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye to Walter. Okay, it's Monday, June 16th. I didn't update you the last couple days. I did have sprints yesterday, and Melanie joined in, and it was a ton of fun and very productive. Let's see, what have I been doing? I did finish Legendary. I believe I finished that on Friday's sprints. I think I updated you on that one. I don't remember. Stephanie Garber, second book in the Caraval series. I did really like this one. I kind of liked I think I liked the story a little bit better in this one, but I think that's because I don't necessarily remember all the details of the first book, but I do know that I liked the atmosphere of the first book more than this one. Like, there was this really good atmosphere in the first one, and this one there was good atmosphere, but it didn't feel quite as tangible to the story as it did in the first one. So, like this one, 4 stars. Finished Brave New World, again, trippy, crazy, things that make you just mad, and things that make you laugh, things that make you go, what? 4 stars, 4.5. Really good, very interesting, especially knowing that it was written in the 30s, the 1930s. Like, yeah, crazy. The ending, yeah. And then I finished A Frostbite by Rochelle Reed. Oh, sorry. By Aldous Huxley, and this was for the Hardcore Literature Book Club, and also the Pottery Barn for Hands on the Cover. I think I used this one for a mood read, the dance studio, because it didn't really fit anyplace else. Yeah. And then Frostbite, again, dance studio, because I read it and it didn't fit any of the other prompts because there's no hands on the covers or anything. There's definitely eyes, but yeah. So this one, and this was for the Vampire Academy's read along with Sandra from Got a Thing for Things, and I did finish that one. It was good. I'm enjoying it. It's not an amazing series, but it's entertaining and it's fun. What am I reading right now? I am reading Dose Effect, and I did make some good progress on this yesterday. I'm about 25% of the way through on chapter 4, Embrace Discomfort. So they're talking about how dopamine works in your body, and if you can have dopamine overloads and not enough, and back and forth, and raise your tolerance to it so you need more to feel it, and that kind of thing. And then it talks about some of the different ways to regulate your dopamine, like get it back to normal, and talks about like the flow state. So like those times when you're like, oh my gosh, 3 hours have just passed by and it felt like 10 minutes because you were just like into whatever you were doing. That's kind of the flow state. How to create discipline to get rid of the quick dopamine bursts that feel good in the moment, like eating sugar or scrolling on social media, but it's not long lasting because you have a higher high, but you have a much lower low, and it's like this, as opposed to more even keel or even more like this, like a small wave. And then phone fasting. So if you are addicted to your phone and you do everything on your phone, how to figure out your screen time and ways around that, applying some of the discipline to only checking your phone in certain times during the day, and rationing your screen time to or relegating your screen time to like maybe an hour in the morning, half an hour in the afternoon, another maybe an hour at night, or something like that. And then we're moving on to cold water and my pursuit, and that's all for the dopamine. Then we move into like oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, and all the things that your body produces naturally, and how to regulate them and get them out of the big, huge roller coaster spiral and cycle that you're in, and get it on a more normal, natural, even plane. Hopefully you don't hear, my husband's still working on our laundry room, so hopefully you don't hear too much of the drilling and whatever going on. And then I'm also currently on Encyclopedia Fairies. I'm about 30-ish% of the way through. Oh, actually about closer, almost 40% of the way through. And this is so cute. I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, this one I think is again going to be another mood read because for the dance studio, because I don't think it fits anyplace else with the nonfiction. But I'll look at the prompts again and see. This one is for the dining hall, food on the cover, because we've got the mushrooms there. But I could also use it for the garden because of the flowers, because there's flowers all in here too. And this is such a pretty edition. I love this one. This one's for my library. I'm actually reading it on my Kindle, but yeah. I'll probably end up taking this one back to my library because my Kindle edition and this edition are exactly the same. So I'll probably just return this one today when I go with my mom. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this one. It is so cute. Yeah. Emily Wilde is a researcher and she's at Cambridge. She's a professor and she's working on this project where she's kind of cataloging and creating an encyclopedia of all the different types of fairies, brownies and sprites and the tall ones and the hidden ones and all of that fun stuff. And it's just cute. So it's like part cozy fantasy and part journal entries and part fairy, and I'm enjoying it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Memoirs of Lady Trent series, where you have the natural history of dragons and she goes along on her adventures, but that one I think has more personal stories of her, like you get a little more interaction with like her and the people around her, where you get that with this too. But I think Emily has more of like a one-track mind, where I am researching these fairies and that's all that my brain can compute at this point in time. I don't know what else is happening around me necessarily, and this is what I'm focused on. And that's kind of fun too. It's nice to see some different perspectives in some of the different journal style books, or the epistolatory type books. Very fun. I'm enjoying it. And today I am doing grocery shopping with my mom again, and then we will probably come back, have lunch, and watch something on YouTube probably. We've been watching past episodes of The Sing Off because she didn't watch it when it was originally out. So we've made it through season 3, so we have season 4 left. So we'll probably start with season 4 today. But she also hasn't watched the finals from The Voice, so we may watch that first. But one of those for lunch today. And then afterwards I've got some more filming I need to do, and I need to get my bullet journal. I need to get my July journal set up. And it sounds like my husband's going to start making a lot more noise, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it here, and I will see you guys in a little while. I almost forgot. I also finished There's Something About Mira by Sonali Dev, and I love that one. My emotions want to give it 5 stars, but I think it's really more of a 4.5. There are a couple of triggers. They're very minor, and it's not super detailed throughout, but there's some family dynamics in there, and there's things about adoption and a couple other triggers in there. So just check those first before you go into it. But otherwise, it's a very sweet and lovely book. It's still Monday, the 16th. And I just got back from the library, and they were having a big orange sticker sale. So any book with the orange sticker on it is 25 cents. And all the other books have the price listed inside in pencil. So $1, $2, $1.50, $2.50, whatever the case may be. So my mom and I had fun scouring the shelves and looking to see if there was anything fun to purchase. And so let's start with the 2 that were not orange stickers well, first, this is what I got for a whole, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, so $3.25. I got, 9 books? 7 books. I can count. 7 books, $3.25. So we'll start with the ones that were 25 cents. This one is Love by Toni Morrison. I don't know anything about this book, but I have heard some good things about the Toni Morrison book, so I thought I would pick one up and give it a try. So this one, and it's super pretty, shiny. And then this one was totally a cover buy. It looked kind of interesting. So this one is Lost, a Gregory Maguire novel, and it is he's the author of Wicked and Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. So that just, I don't know, it looked interesting. And there's no blurb inside. The blurb is inside, but I was looking at the back. A staggering feat of wordcraft. Maguire has created one of the greatest heroines in fantasy literature. I'm like, well, that sounds kind of interesting. At the flat in Weatherwall Walk, there was no milk in the fridge, no ice in the tiny freezer unit. The better furniture was hung over with drop cloths, the leather-bound books evacuated from their shelves, unconnected wiring threaded from walls, and a smell of lazy drains, something rotting, unfurled from the sewer all the way up to this flat. Winnie wrenched open a window, but no sign of John. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued. All right, next for, well, I'm going to wait on that one. So next for a quarter is actually 2 books in the series, and this is the Sunday Philosophy Club series by Alexander McCall Smith, and I think this is going to be more cozy mystery kind of vibes, which I'm not the biggest mystery fan, but kind of detectives and things like that. I love Sherlock Holmes, but I'm kind of picky about those and don't gravitate toward them too often. I got to be in the mood for it. But I mean, for 50 cents, you get 2 books in the series. Might be kind of fun. And then I got, the last one I got for a quarter. And again, this one's an author buy because I have read from this author before and loved it and am interested in picking up some of their other stuff. So for a quarter, if I don't like it, that's fine. Like these 2, if I'm like, don't want to keep them, they were fun, but don't want to keep them, my mom and my aunt will both absolutely read these. So they'll get their use. And this one is by Bernard Cornwell. And this one is The Pale Horseman. I don't know if it's part of a series or not. I haven't looked, but I love Bernard Cornwell, so I picked this one up. And then for $1, so $1.25, I picked up this one, and this one is Death of Kings. And this one seems more like it's part of a series. I don't know. I haven't even looked in the books to see anything about them. Normally $25.95 is the price over here, and I got it for a quarter. So even if I don't like it, it's fine. Yeah, I've read The Winter King, which is the first book in the Warlord Chronicles. And I don't actually see this one in here, so I'm thinking maybe a standalone. I don't actually see Death of Kings in here either. So it's either written after. I don't know. I'll have to do a little digging and see if it's standalone or not. And again, with this one, I love the crown on there. Very pretty. Oh! It's got a family tree. That's fun. 7 Kings Will Die. Uhtred of Bebbanburg, 7 Kings and the Women You Love. Interesting. And I don't see anything about a series on this one either, so. Oh, here we go. Aha. The Warrior Chronicles. The Last Kingdom. The Pale Horseman. So this is the 2nd book in the series, but that's okay. The Lords of the North, Sword Song, and the Burning Land. So this one's the Warrior Chronicles. It's in the back there. I have to say I do prefer this cover to this one, but that's okay. Yeah, I don't see anything about a series for this one. Probably is though. And then lastly, again, this is another author buy, because I haven't read anything from him, but I've heard some really great things about some of his series. Not necessarily all of his books, but at least a couple of the books, and I really want to read those. But this is the one my library had, and that is Jackdaws by Ken Follett. And so I'm interested in reading some of his works because they have definitely been, his works have been celebrated recently on BookTube. And I'm interested to see if I like it or not. And this one was $1. So it sounds like this is being compared to The Dirty Dozen. They had one, I wish I realized at the time when I picked it up, that on the inside here is where they write what the price is on them, because there was a collection of kind of the classic Gothic kind of darker stories from way back when. The first book was Rebecca. The Thin Man was in there, and I really wanted to get that one, but I didn't want to pay a lot, but I couldn't tell how much it was because I didn't know to look under the thing. So I will look next week when we go and see if that one is still there. I don't see The Pillars of the Earth. That's the one by Ken Follett. That's one of the ones I want to read. And I think there's another one, but I don't remember what that one's called. So yeah, we'll see what I think. Exactly 50 women were sent into France as secret agents by the Special Operations Executive during the Second World War. Of those, 36 survived the war. The other 14 gave their lives. This book is dedicated to all of them. That's pretty cool. And if for some reason it's not my cup of tea, I can give it to my brother-in-law, who loves all of the old, especially like World War I, World War II stories, kind of historical stuff. He might enjoy this one. My sister also is a big historical fiction kind of gal, so if for some reason it's not for me, I have plans where I can give it to others whose tastes are a little more aligned. All right, so that's my unexpected library haul, and I am looking forward to giving all of them a try. I may try a chapter at some point and see if I want to keep them, or if I want to donate them to others. Maybe find a couple little free libraries and put them in there. I don't know. We'll see. Right now they're going to be on my TBR cart because I just took like 10 books back to the library. So my cart's kind of empty, but I will need to find spots on my shelves, maybe down in this area, because I kind of opened up some space over here. So I might put some there. And I may need to find some places for all of my cookbooks on this shelf back here to put more of my books. I may need to do another bookshelf tour for y'all too. I just wish I had space for more bookshelves, because it would be great to continue them this way. But again, that's the wall bed, so that can't move. And that's a window. So I can't cover that up. But maybe I can get some short ones in place, because I have this this workspace here that has some drawers and stuff, and that's usually where I film my top-down stuff. Maybe I could replace that with some bookcases instead. Some shorter ones that fit under the window. That would be nice. Okay, I need to get back to work, and we'll start working on my bullet journal for July and editing this vlog so it can go up on Thursday. See you tomorrow. Hello, it is, I don't know what day it is. Today's Tuesday, the 17th, and we are getting ready to head out in just a couple minutes to celebrate my cousin-in-law's birthday and going out to dinner with the family, so that's going to be fun. But I wanted to give you a quick little update. I'm still working on The Dose Effect by TJ Power, and I am also still working on Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I'm about 50 plus way through, almost 60% of the way through that one. I'm still only about 25% of the way through this one. And then I finished Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh, and I am happy to say that I am done with that series. I will not continue on, but the book did resolve the issues that I had with the ending of the first book. So I have my anxiety is gone about the book, and things are good. So, yeah, none of the rest of the characters in that series are enough for me to want to continue with 600 to 800 page contemporary romance, because that ain't my thing. So the first two books are done, and I'm good. And then I started The Savior's Champion by Jenna Morisi. That's the group book for Camp SeasonAthon, and I'm enjoying it. I love the game aspect of it, and the dynamics that come with that is always pretty interesting. And that's about it. I'm gonna go because I need to feed my dog, and then we need to feed the dog and cat that we're pet sitting, and then head to the restaurant to see family. So see you guys tomorrow. Bye. I want to give a quick update. It's Wednesday, June 18th, and had a nice time out with my family for dinner last night. It was really nice. Then we came home to some sad news with my husband's family, but it's going to be okay. And I finished. So I finished Keeping 13 yesterday. I told you about that. And I'm still working on Emily Wilde's. I'm like 80% of the way through. I should finish that today. And then I started The Savior's Champion, the group book for Camp SeasonAthon by Jenna Marisi. I'm loving it. Love it, love it. And about 30% of the way through that one. Trying not to read too fast, but I'm loving it. So I'm just kind of like gobbling it up. And I'm also still on The Dose Effect. I didn't read any of it yesterday, but I do plan on reading a couple chapters today for that one. And that's about it. I do want to post this vlog tomorrow, but I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope that reading is all going well for all of you. And don't forget to submit your points for all of the books that you've been reading, as well as if you attended any of the live shows or have watched them after the fact. For any of the cabin's leaders, you can count that. And don't forget that the author chat and the live show are coming up June 28th on Melanie's channel. So don't forget to go over there and check them out. Sprints on Kimberly's channel, Whimsical Narratives, on the 22nd at 8 a.m. Eastern. And I will leave the link to her channel down below if you are not subscribed yet. Make sure you do, for both Melanie and Kimberly. And I will see you again next week. Keep reading. Bye.